Alrighty, so this is problem 4 from the recent code forces round. And what problem is saying is that you're having a tree. Actually, this is a weighted tree, but the weights are not given to you. That is, each edge is having some kind of weight over here, but this weight is unknown. You're just given the structure of the tree. And what you have to do is that you have to determine two nodes A and B whose distance AB is maximum. Now distance is actually the GCD of all the edge that you will traverse if you follow a simple path when you go from node A to node B. For example, over here, let's say that this edge had the value 15 and this edge had value 18. So if you are going from 1 to 4, you are actually traversing two edges, right? 15 and 18. So distance of 1, 4 will actually be equal to GCD of 15, 18, which is actually equal to 3. So distance of 1, 4 is 3. And you have to determine two nodes whose distance is maximum for the given tree. And you have to determine it with the help of some queries, where the queries is in this form that you are giving a judge a set of S nodes, right? Like this is a set of S nodes. For example, over here, I have decided to give judge 1, 2, and 4. And what judge will be doing is that it will be taking any two nodes from this set. So it will be taking 1, 2, it will be taking 1, 4, it will be taking 2, 4. And it will be comparing the distance of each of this node, where distance is this thing that I have determined, right? Like that is defined earlier in the problem. So distance, it will be comparing the distance of each pair of nodes, and it will be basically outputting the maximum value. For example, over here, I'm having 15, then I'm having 3, the distance from 1, 4 is 3, and then the distance from 2, 4 is 18. So the judge will be outputting the answer of 18 for the given set. And I can ask judge at most 12 queries, and in those 12 queries I have to output the answer AB, where the distance between AB is maximum. So that's the whole problem. Now let's think of how we can approach this problem. What are some of the ways with which I can approach this problem? So if you have done even small amount of interactive problems, one of the common recurring theme in interactive problem is the use of binary search, right? And this is how basically I started thinking for this problem, because there was something given to us that we can only process 12 queries at most. So because we are given 12 queries, is there any way that if I had, say, a search space S, using one query, I can reduce my search space by 2, then using another query, I can reduce my search space by 4, and we can just keep on doing it until we are having a small enough search space which we can output as the final answer. So in this case, what we can do, a probable kind of an answer, is that we might be having the search space over here, which is consisting of all the elements. Now, when we have processed one query, we can discard three elements from here, and we will be having 1, 2, and 3 over here. Then we can discard some more elements using another query, and we will be left with just two elements. Now, when we are left with two elements, we only had to output the two values as the final answer. So that means that whatever the elements are in this search space are the final answer, because there are two elements left. So we can simply print 1 and 2 as the final answer, because two elements are left in the search space. So now the question is, can I think in terms of how can I process a query which will be discarding the element, half of the element from the given search space, right? So for that, we need to think of how my search space should be looking like, because right now the main idea is this thing. We have to create a structure which is looking somewhat like this, but right now we don't know what S is, like how is search space functioning. So according to me, there are two cases of search space. The first case is that whatever, like if we give the judge this search space itself, it should be outputting the answer X, which is the maximum possible D of AB, right? We should be knowing this value. D of AB should be known to us, and it should be equal to it should be equal to the value that this search query will give if I give this search space to my judge, right? For example, let's say I had 245, and if I this is the search space, so the an overall value, let's say that overall value was 18. Then if I give judge this search space, it should be giving the value of 18, because this is the search space that we are working on, right? It should be having the maximum value, because that's what we have to do. We have to maximize distance of AB. So that's the first condition, that it should have the maximum value. The second condition, which is not so easy to understand, is the search space, like whatever nodes are in the search space should form a connected component. And uh, intuitive proof of this is that, let's say I had a search space which consisted of 1, 4 and 5, right? So I can always say that if I simply discard say 4 over here, and I made a connected compo and I made 2 in this, like instead of taking 4 I took 2 in the search space, I will be having answer as this value, and this will always be giving you a better answer when compared to 1, 4 and 5 as search space, right? And the reason for that is, if we try to just prove it just a little bit, what's really happening is that when I had 145 as the search space, let's just try to find the value over here. Okay, I did not have to do this. Yeah, let's try to find the value over here. So I'm having 1, 4 and 5 as the search space over here. And what I'm comparing it with, a connected component, which is 1, 2 and 5. So I will be having two values. The first value will be the distance of 1, 4, distance of 1, 4, which will be equal to what? GCD of distance of 1, 4 will actually be equal to what? GCD of, let's call this edge as A, and let's call the other edge B, and this edge as C. So it will be equal to what? GCD of A comma B, then distance of 2 comma 4, distance of 2 comma 4, not distance of 1 comma 5, because these are the set pair of edges that we are considering. It will be GCD of A comma C, and similarly the distance of 4, 5 will be equal to what? GCD of B comma C. Now if we do same operation over here, the distance of 1 comma 2 will be equal to what? Simply A, because there is only one element. There is only one element over here, 1 and 2. There is only one edge that is connecting them. So the distance over here will be A. Similarly, the distance between say 2 comma 5 will be C, and distance of, what is the last edge that is left? Actually, we should be taking 1 comma 5 over here just for making it slightly simple to understand. So distance of 1 comma 5 will be equal to GCD of A comma C, again because there are two edges between 1 and 5 over here, right? The A and the C, and the distance between 2 comma 5 will be equal to C, because there is again only one edge. So if you think about it, GCD of A comma B, GCD of A comma B will always be less than equal to A, and it will always be less than equal to B. That's the property of GCD. So if you take this edge, this value will be less than equal to this. If you take this two values, this will be equal, because there are same thing only, GCD of AC, GCD of AC. And then if you take this value, this will also be less than equal to the component which is over here. So we can always say that the value, the maximum value over here will always be less than equal to the maximum value over here. And hence we can say that there is no point in taking the search space which does not form a connected component. They should always be forming a connected component. So that's like the first observation over here, that once we are able to understand that they should be forming a connected component, now comes the part of that how should we discard the element now. So in the contest, what I did was that once I realized this, that search space should be forming a connected component, I started thinking on I should be discarding the elements which again are forming the connected components. For example, over here, if I'm saying that this is a component that is being formed, then I should be discarding this element, right? I should be able to discard this element, and hence the new component, like this new search space, will be a connected component. So the overall idea was that I'm having this search space in the beginning, and what I do is that I try to take a connected component, say 245 over here, and check that this value is having the most number of edges that I can discard. Like over here, there are three edges, three nodes that I can discard, and that was my initial condition. I should be able to make six, then take three values from this search space which was having six values. So I'm discarding three values, and the remaining value, and just do the operation on the remaining values, and that is the whole idea. I take three values from the edge, this is the component, take three values and check if this component is having the maximum value or not, right? Like what I do is that I am having this component, I will be giving my judge this search space to work on, and it will be giving me an answer. If this answer is actually equal to the maximum answer that I got, which I calculated earlier using the fact that I had this component as a whole and I already know this answer, this gave me the maximum. So if this x is actually equal to maximum, then that means that I should work on this component and I should discard this component. But if that's not the case, that is x is actually less than maximum. Where can I remove x? Yep, over here. That is x is actually less than maximum. Then there is no point in working on this search space. I should start working on this search space. So this was the whole idea of the problem, that I have to keep on doing this until my search space basically reduced to a size of 2. And when I have a search space which has a size of 2, I can actually return the answer. So once you're able to understand this thing, there is just one small edge case that you have to consider, and that is what I was earlier doing was that I was considering this component, and if this value had a value say less than the overall maximum overall maximum of distance of AB, then I was basically discarding this component as a whole. But there is just one small edge case, that is I'm not considering that this particular edge, let me color it in this different way. This edge, okay, this is way too light. What is a dark color? I think this should be working. Yep. If you remove this component, then you're actually removing the functionality to compare this edge over here, right? And there is a very high chance that, like, there is always a chance that this edge might be the answer over here, because it might have value 100. The rest of the values are 1. Over here also it is 1. So you have to find a way to make sure that if you're removing a component, you should not remove the head of that component. That is, you should not remove this particular component. You are well off removing this component and this component, because these were the edges that you had to remove essentially, because they were not giving us the best answer. But you should not remove this edge, and it's just an implementation detail that you have to keep in mind, that just keep this edge saved, like just call it as save this node, and remove this component, and then just start working on the new component that you had. Like, you had this component left, just add this particular node to this component and work on this graph now. So this was the whole approach. You just had to keep on removing a particular connected component, also keeping in mind that you have to save some other component, and you have to keep on doing it until you get the size of array less than or equal to 2. And once you get the actually not even less than 2, it should be equal to 2 only, and you have to keep on doing this until you get an search space which is equal to 2. And once you get the search space which is equal to 2, you just have to print that answer. So yeah, this was the whole idea. Now, to be honest, the implementation of this problem is garbage. If you want to check out, I will be linking the implementation in the description. But just to go for a brief overview of what I'm doing, I'm first of all making the graph over here. Then this is basically containing that maximum value with which we are comparing it, this value. And then this is just a small case that I forgot to mention. Basically, if you're having three, like when your search space is having three elements, say 1, 2, and 3, then it was behaving like it was having some bugs. So I had to handle this case different in a different manner. And handling this also is pretty simple, because this whole structure given to us is a tree. Then that means that if we are having a case where we are having a connected component which is having a size of 3, then one of the component will be connected to two other nodes, right? One of the nodes will be connected to two other nodes. So what we can do is that we can consider this value, give this value to the search space, and if this is not the right answer, then for sure this value will be the right answer. And if this component is the right answer, then we can simply print this answer. So that was just a small case that I had to handle. And overall, the implementation is pretty straightforward. What we are doing is that we are finding the connected component, which is having the size of at most R. And if we are able to find it, we are actually processing that. We are actually saving all of the value, which is having at least R in a vector A. And we are processing that over here. And again, if that value is greater than or equal to maxi, even an equal to maxi would have done the work over here. I'm just working on that component. Otherwise, I'm making the new component, which is simply saying that I'm discarding this A component over here. And once I get the answer, I'm simply printing it. So the implementation was again slightly garbage. You can check out the editorial for slightly simpler implementation, which basically uses Euler tree. But this was the approach which I formed after seeing the constraint, which were basically saying that just do anything, it will be accepting it because the value of n was fairly low. So this was the whole approach. Do leave some feedback in the comment section about what kind of problem I should be making video tutorial on. And yeah, see you in the next one.